guess it's myself, right?
Everyone clap for Alex.
With Rocket. Yes. Yes. Awesome. So hey everyone, I'm Alex Smej. I've been part of Metacartel for like 7 months or something. And yeah, I just got funded by Metacartel for a project called Rocket, which is basically getting a loan against your NFT or multiple NFTs. So anyone knows what NFT are, right? Yeah? Cool. So it's like non-fungible tokens, which is like things that are unique pretty much that you own. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you like why I'm building Rocket and what's the future of it. So first of all, like the loans in DeFi today, like they're not really loans, right? They're actually not for normal people either. It's mostly for speculators, and it's for people who already like have money because it is by definition over collateralized, usually 150% for maker. And so I realized that there's no loans in DeFi pretty much, and I wanted to do so. And the thing that traditional banking does for loans is credit score, right? But the thing is, it's actually very hard to do credit score on chain. Like we have no data with crypto, so we need to have another solution. So yeah, like a loan is like you get money in advance, right? It's pretty straightforward, but we don't have that yet in crypto, which is kind of weird. So Maker doesn't do that, for instance. So I created this Telegram group called like Uncollateralized DeFi, and we just discussed a bunch about like how to find solutions for it. And so yeah, like one of the discussions is like one of the simplest answer to do uncollateralized DeFi, or at least what we want to get from it is finding other types of collateral that is not money, so that you get more money in than out, which seems straightforward, but right now in crypto we don't have that. And so if we find valuable assets in crypto that are not directly money, then we can get a loan from it. So there's different use cases for NFTs. So it can be event ticketing, like NFT NYC, which is happening in New York. In 2 weeks, they use tickets literally as NFTs. There can be domain names like ENS. There was an auction on OpenSea for like short names. Or Decentraland parcels, like virtual real estate, so Decentraland's crypto voxels. There's like sales with like 100 ETH or more each time. Or it can be art, crypto art. So crypto art is like a niche in crypto, but it's actually quite booming. So it's like art as like kind of like high quality gifts that sell for like thousands of dollars. And of course like video games. So like you all know like CryptoKitties. CryptoKitties like went very viral in 2017. So this is like NFTs. And so yeah, so I'm gonna explain Rocket now. So Rocket is basically like you deposit an NFT to submit a proposal. If we accept it, we're gonna lock it on the side. So now that NFT is basically collateralized, and we send a loan to DAI so that there's no stability. There is stability, sorry, with DAI. And if you default, we're going to auction on OpenSea and make money off the fact that you didn't pay back. And so Rocket, as a liquidity provider, is a DAO on Moloch DAO, and it holds ETH. Because we want to retain ETH exposure, and I think that was a very wise choice, especially like the past few weeks. And so lenders can vote on loans. So we've got like a Telegram chat where people have achieved like social consensus, and when we're kind of sure that the majority of people want to do that loan, we propose it on chain, people vote for it. And so right now we have a 15% APR on the loans we're giving because it's still kind of risky as NFT. So it's actually quite profitable. I think it's like more profitable than most DeFi platforms. And on the other end, it's not too expensive either because literally no one else will give you a loan for your NFT. It's like, there's no other platform than Rocket who can do that, at least right now. Like, yeah, waiting to see like other projects perhaps who want to do this. So yeah, we did actually one loan. So like, we actually did two. So the first loan is basically the Rocket Genesis loan, which is a Decentraland whale. So Decentraland is like this virtual world which will be like with VR and stuff in the future. And someone who has like a $5,000 like piece of land on Decentraland wanted to get a loan. And we basically collateralize it, so we have the parcel right now. And yeah, we agreed on 15% terms. Right now the code is still in testnet, so we didn't go through the smart contract. It was literally like just manually transferring from wallet to wallet. Like 100% custodial, right? It's not finished. And so we did this, we tokenized it like it's like an NFT for like the escrow, like contract, whatever, but very simple. And yeah, so 14% APR will be repaid in 6 months. And we actually we did a second one actually for a Consensus Academy graduate called Max, and he collateralized the NFT that represents a week of his freelance work as a developer. And against that loan, like we funded his ETH Denver trip because he wanted funds for ETH Denver.
Oh.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. So like Max will come like later today, and like yeah, we like enabled it with Rocket, so it's kind of cool. So stats. So right now we've been live for like 3 weeks, and we're like the biggest for-profit Monoda right now, which is kind of funny because the other ones take too long to launch. Right? So we've got $40,000 of ETH, 16 applications so far, and I think the success of Rocket will depend on, is the NFT market going to boom? So in 2019, it went like 100x, but even with 100x, it's still very tiny. So we hope it will explode even more this year, so we get more velocity and just more loan offerings. And so yeah, so that's it. So it's just loans against NFT. That's yeah, Rocket. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now, Drew from Meta Factory is here, or is he? Yes. So next up is Drew from Meta Factory.
No
So give it up.
questions.
Oh, you want questions? Okay, cool.
I'm sure you have some.
All right.
How do you determine valuations for that?
Right. So right now I basically go around and ask experts in that subdomain how to evaluate the NFT. So the Decentraland Whale like said $5 grand, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I trusted him. Then so actually like even if he was lying, like we would be fucked. But actually like it's fine. I talked to the Methalist people, which is like NFT experts. Like they did something called the NFT Index, which is like a bunch of Decentraland houses, and it's being liquid with mana tokens, the tokens Decentraland. So I asked them, and they like did some due diligence, and they said yes, like this is really worth $5,000. For Max, we said like okay, just got out of Consensus Academy, so he must be coding okay, but he's a beginner, and so we said like $20-30 an hour, which is super safe. I think when you're a developer, you can make way more than this. So yeah, right now it's basically case-by-case basis, and yeah.
Do you think there's a way you could do like a pre-auction for it that determines the valuation?
This could be possible, but I think right now on OpenSea, if you do an auction, it has to go to the buyer at the end of a set duration. So right now we cannot really do that, but perhaps we can go like, they're gonna update the API or something, and we will be able to do it. Yeah.
I'm just wondering why you would consult an expert versus just check on the market price on like
Yeah. I mean, we also check about like what's being sold in Decentraland, what was the past transaction, is Decentraland, the platform itself, going to succeed? Because if it doesn't, all the prices are gonna crash. That's why like
yeah, but shouldn't the market be pricing that in? I mean, what's the
yeah, sure,
the crowds
sure, yeah. The market is pricing it. And so in the special case of the first one, Decentraland is super well funded, super well known in the space. They're launching live on the 20th of February. So we thought it was a pretty like safe bet. The loan is 6 months, so we asked ourselves, is Decentraland gonna be around in 6 months? And the answer is yes, like it should be okay. Yes.
I have buy some Alex token from Uniswap, and I want to know what is the usage and is there any relationship between Rocket and NFT?
What did you buy on Uniswap?
The Alex token.
LS token?
Yes.
My token? Oh, the Alex token. Okay, so yeah, the Alex token, like you can buy it on like Uniswap, like it's alex.buymagic.xyz.
Yeah.
And also like yeah, actually like this event is on Eventbrite, but there's some people who did on Kickback as well, and they staked Alex tokens. So if it's you, like go up to me, because like I will put on chain that you attended the event. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your Alex tokens. So yeah. So if you want to keep your Alex tokens and get more, because some people will miss the event, and so the remaining Alex will be split amongst the attendees. It's kind of like the sort of kickback. Yeah.
Do token holders have any sort of benefit for
So the Alex tokens can benefit from my time, my skills. What? Oh, for Rocket, I guess if you have some Alex tokens, I'll be biased towards accepting your loan. But But like eventually, it's not really me who decides who gets a loan in Rocket. It's more like the DAO, right? So like, for instance, we wanted to do a Rocket loan with NFTs. Sorry, with ENS NFTs from a ENS whale who had like Bitcoin.eth, Bitcoin Chain.eth, Snapchat.eth, Tesla.eth, like a huge parker of domain names, right? And I was like, this sounds like extremely safe. Like, if we liquidate, like, it's gonna be fine. But actually, like, it wasn't at all. Like, everyone was like, it's not liquid. The market, there's no market people. Like, it's basically like he's selling you the token, right? And yeah, you don't want to do that. So even though I wanted it, to be honest, like, it didn't go through. So it's yeah, I cannot do you any favor because I don't have 50% or more of the DAO votes.
So you
Yeah.
mentioned identity being pretty important, and there's two like major trains of thought, like on-chain identity and verifiable credentials. Do you see which one would play like a bigger role in Rocket, or betting on both, or one or the other maybe?
I think to be honest, like identity is really hard, so we don't want to do identity. So it's like the NFT should be valuable, and if they're valuable, we don't care who you are. We're gonna sell it anyway. Like if you default. I think that would be like an easier way. But like to be honest, right now it's case by case basis. So like I actually know the people who get the loan. Like for instance, like Max. Like yeah, I know this guy. He's great. So yeah, like on-chain identity is extremely hard. Like I want to really stay simple for Rocket. Like I don't know if it's gonna work. And so yeah, right now the smart contract is literally locking a NFT, and yeah, we seize it if defaults. If repaid, we just unlock it. That's literally like an escrow. Yeah.
You're essentially banking on the identity problem being solved by the NFT market taking off and being successful. Because if it's successful, you don't have to worry about the collateral value.
But like, I don't have to worry about identity. It's just like, if the NFT is valuable, then if you, okay, cool, like, don't repay. We'll just sell you NFT and make money. So, yeah, any more questions, or we can switch? No, well, thank you very much. Yeah, exactly. That's a question everyone asked me, and yeah, that's totally ridiculous, right? Like, I started the under-collateralized DeFi group, and my first loans are over-collateralized, so like, I make no sense. But the reason why is because NFTs, even if they are over-collateralized, are non-financial asset. Like, the people don't really want to sell them. They have an NFT, they want to keep it for long term because it's gonna probably like appreciate in value, for instance, and so they still get more money in than out. So even though we are over-collateralized, we are still giving more money in than out. So we fulfill the loan definition that DeFi doesn't fulfill right now.
Do you retain the ownership of that NFT?
Yes, we do. We would actually want a version where the owner is the person, and we have the transfer rights, because in the NFT smart contract it is possible, but almost no NFT companies did this. Like, we can mint an NFT today where you have it and I have the right to transfer it. That would be awesome, because then you retain the ownership, but at the same time, if you don't repay, we can take it away. But most platforms, like, yeah, do not do that, so Decentraland doesn't do that. For ENS, it's kind of easier because we have the ENS and we can set the resolver to your name, so that means you still retain the benefits of the ENS. But yeah.
In a way, so you're more like a pawn shop.
Exactly, we're like the biggest pawn shop in the world. Yeah.
Decentralized pawn shop.
Yeah, decentralized pawn shop. Because like pawn shops are like annoying. You need like a shop, right? And in crypto, it's like a smart contract, so you can hold like dozens of millions of NFTs. So it's like more scalable that way. So yeah. Any more questions? No? Thank you so much. So now is Drew or oh wait, are we gonna try?
We're gonna tag team.
Oh, tag team. Okay, so Drew and Ahmad